Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is July 17th. The first series since the All-Star break is in the books, and we're going over it. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. It is Monday. We're back with another episode here, episode 33 of the year. I'm excited to dive into this series recap. We had 6 sweeps. So good stuff there for those 6 teams. And for the 6 teams who got swept, well, hopefully it's not one who needed to win some games this week. We're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline. We got 2.5 months left of baseball, and the playoff picture is kind of slowly starting to format itself, so I'm excited for that. Playoff baseball is the best kind of baseball, but we're not at playoff baseball, we're at regular season baseball. So let's dive in to our series recap. Getting things started, we've got the Diamondbacks in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays, and in the first game, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s first at-bat after winning the home run derby. It's a home run. It's a solo shot that scores the first run of this game. Then later on, former Blue Jays Gabriel Moreno was able to match that, a solo shot that ties the game in the 7th. But in the bottom of the 7th, the Jays turned it on. They scored 5 runs. The Jays, they beat the Diamondbacks in the opener, winning it 7-2. In Game 2, after the Diamondbacks tied the game with a 2-run single from Jake McCarthy, the Blue Jays All-Stars Whit Merrifield and Bo Bichette launched home runs as the Jays pen holds the D-backs, resulting in another Blue Jays win. They take it 5-2. And in the final game, a very close game as the Jays were up a run from the 5th inning to the 8th inning, when they then added 4 runs with the help of a bases-clearing double from Danny Jansen, which turned out to be important because in the top of the 9th, Ketel Marte matched Jansen with a bases-clearing double of his own. But in the end, it was not enough. The Blue Jays, they sweep the Diamondbacks. They win it 7-5. The Marlins and Baltimore set off for 3, and in the first game, the O's muscle up as Cedric Mullins hits a solo shot to put Baltimore in front, which then led to Adam Frazier's big night as he hit not just 1 but 2 home runs in the game for his 11th and 12th homers on the year, leading to the Orioles win. They take it 5-2. In Game 2, the Marlins got off to a hot start in the 2nd inning, scoring 4 runs, but Baltimore responded with 3 runs in their half of the inning. Then later in the 7th, Gunnar Henderson hit a game-tying home run, and later on in the inning, Anthony Santander drove in a run on a single, which would end up being the winning run. As the O's come back in this one, they win it 6-5. And in the final game, Baltimore would score 5 runs in the first 4 innings, including a home run from Anthony Santander, which would be his 100th career home run, so congrats to him. It would stay like this until the 9th when Miami finally scored some runs. They were able to get 4 runs in the 9th inning, but not that 5th one. As Baltimore holds on, they're able to sweep the Marlins. They win it 5-4. Moving along, we've got the Rays and the Royals, and a rain delay Friday sets up a doubleheader Saturday, and it starts with a pair of Rays solo shots from Jose Siri and Francisco Mejia. The Royals would cut the lead in half after a solo shot from Bobby Witt Jr., but Tampa would go on to score 3 runs in the 8th, and then Jose Siri would hit his 2nd home run of the game in the 9th to put the cherry on top as Tampa wins the first game, taking it 6-1. In the second game, the Rays, down a run entering the 7th inning, would tie the game on a triple from Josh Lau, take the lead in the 8th with a Luke Raley single, and then add an insurance run in the 9th on a Harold Ramirez sac fly as Tampa takes another, winning it 4-2. And in that final game, the Royals would score 7 runs in the first half of this game, including home runs from Bobby Witt Jr. and Drew Waters. Tampa would cut the lead from 7-3 after scoring 4 runs in the 8th inning off of 2 home runs from Isaac Paredes and Francisco Mejia, but the Royals would respond with a solo shot from MJ Melendez as they hold on to beat the Rays and avoid the sweep, taking it 8-4. Guardians and the Rangers, brothers in arms and brothers doing the work. Bo Naylor and Josh Naylor both hit 2-run home runs in the same inning to put the Guardians up 4. The last time brothers homered on the same team in the same game was in 2014 when BJ and Justin Upton both went yard. Texas would go on to score 5 runs in the 7th and 4 runs in the 8th as Nathaniel Lau, Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia, and Jonah Heim all homer in the game. Texas comes out on top. They win it 12-4. In Game 2, the Rangers scored 2 runs in the first 2 innings as Andrew Heaney and the Rangers pen blanks the Guardians. Texas takes another, winning it 2-0. And in the final game, 2 leadoff home runs in this one. Steven Kwan hits one out for the Guardians, and then Marcus Semien leads off their half with a home run as well. We're tied at 1 before Steven Kwan gets a 2-run single to put the Guardians up, and that was followed by a home run from David Fry. In the 8th inning, though, the Rangers come back, scoring 4 runs in the inning, including a 2-run single by Josh Jung to put them ahead. The Rangers get the sweep over the Guardians. They win it 6-5. The Twins and the A's jumping to the end in this first game here, tied up at 3 in the 9th. Joey Gallo crushes a 2-run home run to put the Twins in front. Oakland was able to score 1 run back, but not the other, as the Twins take the opener, winning it 5-4. In Game 2, the Twins scored 7 in 7 of the 9 innings, including home runs from Michael A. Taylor and Kyle Farmer. And although the A's kept things close with home runs from Ryan Noda and Seth Brown, in the end, the Twins hold on. They win another 10-7. And in that final game, Alex Kirilloff had himself a game with a home run and a 3-run double as he drove in 4 of the team's 5 runs, as the other run was a solo shot from Christian Vazquez. The Twins get an important sweep over Oakland, winning it 5-4. Moving along now, we've got the Tigers and the Mariners. In the first game, the Tigers hit 3 home runs to account for all of their runs in the game. Kerry Carpenter, Akil Baddoo, and Nick Maton all go yard in the game. And although the Mariners kept things close and made it a 1-run game in the 9th after a Mike Ford home run, the Tigers do hold on and take the first game in the set, winning it 5-4. In Game 2, Kerry Carpenter continues his great series with 2 more home runs in this game, a total of 3 so far in the series, which scored 4 of the Tigers' 6 runs, as All-Star Michael Lorenzen and the Tigers' pen blanks the Mariners. The Tigers win another 6-0, and in the final game, Jared Kelenic double and a Kyle Raleigh home run would be all the Mariners would need to avoid the sweep. The Tigers get blanked by the return of Bryce Miller from the injured list. Mariners win it 2-0. The Astros and the Angels, what a series this turned out to be. In the first game, the Astros got to Ohtani, scoring 5 runs off of him in the middle of this game, as all of the Astro runs in this one came in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. Taylor Ward would hit a home run late, but it would come a little too late as the Astros take the opener versus Ohtani and the Angels, winning it 7-5. For Game 2, we had a wild one here as it started with a 3-run home run from Luis Rengifo to get the Angels started. The Astros would go on to score 4 runs and take the lead, and then entering the 7th would score 5 runs, including a 3-run home run from Jose Abreu. The Angels would respond in the bottom of the 7th with 6 runs of their own, with Zach Neto and Mike Moustakas going yard. That would tie the game up. In the 8th now, Chas McCormick hits a 2-run home run to put the Astros up, and they would add a run in the 9th. So, bottom of the 9th, down 3, and it starts with a home run from Ohtani, his 33rd of the year, making it a 2-run game. A passed ball then scores another run, and a single from Hunter Renfroe ties this game up. We are sent into extras, where after they get through the top of the 10th, we need a hero, and it comes from Taylor Ward. An error allows him to reach safely, and that would score the winning run as the Angels take a wild one. They win it 13-12. And for the rubber match now, Mike Moustakas hits a home run to tie the game up. And after the Angels took a 2-run lead, the Astros would then retie it up on 2 solo shots in the 7th from Chas McCormick and Jake Myers. The Angels then go on to score 4 runs the next inning with a bases-clearing double from Taylor Ward, but the Astros were not done as Chas McCormick hits another home run for his 3rd of the series and his 2nd of the game. That cuts the lead in half. To the 9th we go. The Astros score 4 runs with Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker going back-to-back Shohei Ohtani would then hit his 34th home run of the year in the ninth, but the Angels do come up a run short. The Astros take another wild one. They win the series and take the road match, winning it 9-8. The White Sox and the Braves now, and this game starts with a Matt Olson grand slam in the first, and that's all the Braves would need as Charlie Morton and the Braves pen blanks the White Sox. The Braves take the opener, they win it 9-0. In the second game, the White Sox scored 3 runs in the third, so the Braves responded with 3 runs of their own in the third from 2 home runs, Eddie Rosario and Ronald Acuna Jr. Jake Burger later on then broke the tie with his 20th home run of the year and added an insurance run from a Benintendi single, which turned out to be important as Ronald Acuna Jr. hit his second home run of the game in the ninth to get a run back, but the White Sox were able to hold on and win it as they take it 6-5. And now for the road match, Game 3, Jake Burger starts the scoring in this one with another home run, and Luis Robert Jr. had a big game going 4 for 5 with a home run, 3 RBIs. The White Sox beat the Braves. They take the series versus them. Impressive. They win it 8-1. Moving along now, we've got a big series in the Queens. Dodgers at Mets. Here we go. Game 1. The Dodgers are able to blank the Mets and only give up 1 hit against them as JD Martinez, he homers in the game for the Dodgers. They win the first game 6-0. On to the second game. Mookie Betts and Brandon Nimmo trade solo shots in the game, making it 1-1 until the 8th, where the Dodgers scored a run to take the lead. And then in the 9th, they went on to add 3 more runs as the Dodgers beat the Mets again 5-1. And in the final game, thanks to Mad Max's great start, the Dodgers weren't able to score a run until the 8th after he was pulled, as Mookie Betts singles to tie this game up late and send this to extras, where in the 10th, Luis Guillermo drives in the winning run with a walk-off double. As the Mets win it, they avoid the sweep. They get a game 2-1. Now we've got the Padres and the Phillies, who are set to play 4, including a scheduled doubleheader Saturday. And it starts with 2 home runs from Gary Sanchez and Fernando Tatis Jr. Later on, Manny Machado and Juan Soto, they both go yard in the game. The Padres beat the Phillies in the opener, taking it 8-3. Game 2 now, Trent Grisham started this game with a 3-run home run to put the Padres up. Later on, Kyle Schwarber hits his 23rd homer of the year to tie the game up for the Phillies. The Padres would retake the lead after Manny Machado hit his 300th career home run. But in the bottom of the 8th, the Phillies score 3 runs to get their first lead of the game and would be able to hold on as they get a come-from-behind win and beat the Padres, taking it 6-4. Game 3, Bryce Harper hits his first home run in over a month, his 4th of the year. Kyle Schwarber with another home run, and the Phillies open this game with 8 runs in 3 innings. The Phillies take both games on the Saturday doubleheader, winning it 9-4. And in the final game, Ha-Seong Kim and Xander Bogaerts both hit solo shots early to get the Padres the lead. Home runs from Bryson Stott and Kyle Schwarber would help the Phillies tie the game and take the lead in the 6th after scoring 4 runs. Tatis ties the game with a single in the 8th, sending us to extras, where Kyle Schwarber was the hero with a walk-off sac fly. The Phillies win it. They take 3 of 4 versus the Padres, beating them 7-6. The Nationals and the Cardinals. Game 1 here, Lars Nootbaar hit a home run to start things off for the Cardinals. And after the Nationals scored 4 runs, Brandon Donovan hit a 3-run home run for the Cardinals to tie things back up in the 5th inning. The Nationals retook the lead. Wilson Contreras with the Cardinals hit a game-tying home run to tie it back up and send us to extras, where the Nationals scored 2 runs in the 10th and held the Cardinals at bay as they dropped the first game to the Nats, winning it 7-5. Game 2, the Cardinals ride a 4-run second and a 3-run 5th with a home run from Nolan Arenado. That would be a recipe for a win as they even the series up, taking it 9-6. And in the final game, the rubber match, Nolan Gorman and Paul Goldschmidt both go yard in this game As the Cardinals are able to hold on and beat the Nationals, they win the series, taking it 8-4. Now we've got the Red Sox and the Cubs, and in the first game, the Red Sox, they open this series up 6 home runs in the game. Rafael Devers hits 2. Adam Duvall, Tristan Casas, Justin Turner, and Yu Chang all go deep for Boston. Cody Bellinger, he hit 2 home runs in the game, but it wasn't enough. The Red Sox take the opener. They win it 8-3. Game 2, the Cubs score 6 runs in the third, including a grand slam from Cody Bellinger, his third of the series. Patrick Wisdom also goes yard in the game. The Cubs win it, even the series up 10-4. And for Game 3, a rubber match starts with Rafael Devers, his 23rd homer of the year. And that is then later followed by Masataka Yoshida. He hits a grand slam. Tristan Casas, he also goes deep in the game as he homers in all 3 games of the series. The Red Sox end up winning this game. They take the series 11-5. The Brewers and the Reds, a very important series between the first place Reds and the second place Brewers for the NL Central. And this game starts with Corbin Burnes, and he was a big factor in this one as he strikes out 13 Reds through 6 innings of work, while the Brewers can only get 1 run on a Victor Caratini single. But that's all they would need as the Brewers blank the Reds. They take the first game and tie the Reds for first in the NL Central, winning it 1-0. In Game 2, another pitching performance gem from the Brewers, this one from Freddie Peralta, as he alone gives up 1 hit to the Reds, while 3 Brewer solo shots from Christian Yelich, William Contreras, and Owen Miller helped the Brewers get the win as they are now in first place in the NL Central after that win. They take it 3-0. And for the final game, Christian Yelich and Jake Fraley trade off home runs as the Reds would have the lead late, but a 2-run 8th inning allows the Brewers to tie it up on an Owen Miller sac fly, and then the Andrew Monstiero single gives the Brewers the lead. They get an important sweep over the Reds and are now 2 games above them for the division. They sweep the Reds, winning it 4-3. The Giants and the Pirates, with the series here. First game, Ji-Man Choi launches his 4th home run of the year, but the Giants get the last laugh after scoring 3 runs in the 7th inning with Patrick Bailey and Luis Matos base hits. That put them out in front. The Giants hold on and beat the Pirates in the first game, winning it 6-5. In Game 2, Mike Yastrzemski and Henry Davis both hit home runs early as they trade off bombs in the second. It would remain tied until the 8th when Michael Conforto singled in 2 runs for the Giants as they would then go on to beat the Pirates again, winning it 3-1. And for the final game, jumping along in this one, the Pirates tie the game up in the 8th with a sac fly and send us to extras with the Giants pile it on in the 10th. They score 5 runs on 2 doubles as the Giants sweep the Pirates, winning it 8-4. Lastly, now here we've got the Yankees at the Rockies. Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant playing each other for the first time ever. Cubs fans look away. This game gets started with a Giancarlo Stanton 2-run home run for the Yankees. The Rockies then would go on to score 7 straight runs, including home runs from Randall Grichuk, Chris Bryant, and Nolan Jones. As the Rockies take the opener, they win it 7-2. In Game 2, Giancarlo Stanton another home run, this one a 3-run shot. That capped off a 5-run second inning to put the Yankees up. CJ Cron, he hits a home run for the Rockies, but it wouldn't be enough. The Yankees win it. They even the series 6-3. And in that final game, Michael Toglia hit his first home run of the year to get this rubber match started. The Yankees would score 3 runs and take the lead until CJ Cron crushed a grand slam. The Yankees would then score 2 runs in the 9th to tie the game up and send us to extras with them. The Yankees would get 2 more runs in the 11th and take the lead. Nolan Jones, he would answer that with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 11th to tie it back up, where it was then Alan Tahiro with a walk-off home run, his first of the year, as that would mean the Rockies beat the Yankees in the series. They win it 8-7. So that will do it for our series recap. 6 sweeps in the series recap. 4 Grand Slams: Matt Olson, Cody Bellinger, Masataka Yoshida, and CJ Cron. All very impressive there. Let's dive on into the game of the weekend. And although the Astros and Angels had 2 very good games, I want to stick to that last one there, the Yankees and the Rockies. Bottom second, Michael Toglia, his first of the year, 1-0 Colorado. Top of the 6th now, IKF, he singles in 2, making it 2-1, and then Anthony Volpe grounds out, but that allows IKF to score, as it is now 3-1 Yankees. Bottom of the 8th now, CJ Cron, he hits the grand slam, his 9th home run of the year. That made it 5-3 Colorado. In the top of the 9th, Gleyber Torres, he singles in a run to make it 5-4, and then after a tag play challenge, that allows a run to score as Gleyber comes in, making it 5-5, and that would end the inning. The 10th inning would have no scoring, but in the 11th inning, Oswaldo Cabrera, he singles a ball, allows Anthony Volpe to score, making it 6-5. And then Oswaldo Peraza, he singles in a run, making it 7-5. In the bottom of the 11th, here is Nolan Jones again, his 7th of the home run, 7th of the year, ties the game at 7 as it is 7-7. And then later on, Alan Tahiro, home run number 1 on the year, 8-7, Colorado walk-off home run. Rockies win it, beating the Yankees 8-7. That is your game of the weekend. Now let's move on to our baseball news. And the first big thing is the Diamondbacks. They've been swept by the Blue Jays. They have lost 5 straight. It's not been a fun go. Yeah, the Diamondbacks have lost 4 straight games. They're 11-17 in the last 28th, and because the Giants are on a 5-game winning streak, they have fallen not only to the Dodgers but the Giants as well. They're now 3rd in the NL West. And things for the Diamondbacks have slowly slipped away from them. They're now in the 6th seed in the wild card there, only half a game above the Phillies, who are on a 3-game winning streak. And you have to wonder what's been missing here. The offense has really slumped and struggled, and it's particularly not been one guy. Corbin Carroll slowed down a bit, Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., a lot of those guys there, the offense has really slipped away from the Diamondbacks. The pitching was the big thing, though, that kept the Diamondbacks afloat, that kept them in first place for as long as they had. Someone like Zach Gallen isn't going to hold them forever. Guys like Ryan Nelson, they need to be better, and they've slowly slipped away, and you have to wonder, what are the Diamondbacks going to do about it? They have a real shot here, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of moves they make at the deadline, because their future is very bright. They have a lot of young guys who are up now, like Corbin Carroll, like someone like Alek Thomas even, Jake McCarthy, sure. But that pitching is not really there yet, and they could definitely trade away some of their farm system for pitchers, guys that could go out and get maybe a Marcus Stroman, maybe a Max Scherzer, maybe, a Lucas Giolito even. They need to go get a starter. And but they're not the only ones. Teams like the Reds, teams like the Orioles, they are all going to be hunting down pitchers. We'll talk about that a little bit more in our trade talk. But I mean, Diamondbacks, they're slipping, and if they want to stay afloat, they're going to have to do something major. They're going to have to figure things out and start winning games again. They have an interesting series coming up against the Braves, the best team in the NL. You're on a 4-game skid. You got to try to win one, if not take both games in that series. So we'll see what happens with the Diamondbacks there. So now a couple injuries really quickly here. Clayton Kershaw, he has undergo an MRI. He hopes that he'll be back before middle August. He's hoping to come back early August, but we'll have to wait and see what they say about Kershaw. And now the big main injury here is that Shane Bieber for the Guardians, he has gone on the IL with forearm issues. And that's big for a couple reasons. One, the Guardians, they just got swept. Meanwhile, the Twins got us swept. So, from them being first place in division, they're now 2 games back of the Twins now. So if the Guardians want to try to push for it, I mean, they need Shane Bieber healthy. But not only that, but Shane Bieber could have been someone that they could have traded, if the price was right. Now that's going to be harder to do since he's on the IL. It's still a possibility, but we'll have to see how teams figure when guys like Scherzer, like Stroman, like Giolito, even maybe Lance Lynn, when they start getting traded first, we'll come see which teams come knocking for the Guardians about Bieber. But that's definitely something to note of, that he's on the 15-day IL. Moving along now, we've got a couple of kids getting called up in the NL Central. The Pirates are calling up a pair, Endy Rodriguez, a catcher, and Quinn Priester is making his MLB debut sometime against the Guardians. That's the Pirates ranked number 3 and 4 prospects. So, congrats to those guys. We'll see what they're all about. Quinn Priester is supposed to be making his, he's a pitcher, so he should be making his debut sometime this week. And Endy Rodriguez, a catcher, just like Henry Davis, so we'll see what they do there. Two of their best prospects, both being catchers. And the Reds, after getting swept by the Brewers, they've fallen down to second now. They got to stay, keep the vibes up, and they're going to call up their young kid, Christian Encarnacion Strand. Yes, that is his full name, and that is also, when he makes his Major League debut, he will hold the record for the longest name in MLB history with 27 letters. That breaks Simeon Woods Richardson with the Twins when he debuted in 2022 with 22 letters. So a 5-letter difference there. Christian Encarnacion Strand will become the longest name in Major League history when he makes his official debut. So we'll see what kind of move that does for the Reds, if that helps them, recatch some of that magic alongside Elly De La Cruz. Moving along now, we're going to be starting up a little segment here, Trade Talk. It's as easy as it's going to sound. It's going to be the next 2 weeks. We'll probably be putting this in every episode. Just going over a couple of rumors that we hear, a couple of predictions I might have about certain players ending up on certain teams in the midst of the next 2 weeks here before the trade deadline. So we'll start this one off, the debut of Trade Talks, talking about Marcus Stroman. There was news that the Blue Jays were very high on him as well as the Astros. And I think it would be quite fitting if Marcus Stroman made a return and a reunion with the Toronto Blue Jays. Stroman's been extremely well this year. And heading back to Toronto, I'm sure he would be right at home. The question would be, who ends up with the number 6? Does Alek Manoah hold on to it, or does Marcus Stroman reclaim that from him? We have to see about that. But I think Marcus Stroman going back there would be very fun for the city of Toronto. But yeah, so we'll see if that happens there. Moving on, we know that the Reds have checked in on the White Sox pitching, looking at Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, and even Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease definitely the least likely White Sox pitcher to move, but Lance Lynn and Lucas Giolito are both very likely to get traded here. And it's good that the Reds are looking for pitchers. Obviously, their starting pitching has struggled, not tremendously, but more on signs of injuries. Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo still not healthy, kind of their 1-2 pitchers. But, the guys they've called up upon have done a job and have been able to hold teams at bay while the offense does the work there. But the Reds, if they're going to make a run for it, they're going to need starting pitching. Good to check in on the White Sox, but don't stop there. Go have a look at Marcus Stroman. Go have a look at Shane Bieber, maybe. And hell, if you're feeling up for it, go have a look at Ohtani. As much as I was talking about Ohtani being a Dodger, being a Yankee, I would love to see this guy on another team. Could he end up on the Diamondbacks? Could he end up on the Reds? Could he end up with Baltimore even? We know Baltimore has a great farm system. They're always calling on young kids. I'm sure the Angels would be able to pick quite a nice package there for Ohtani. Every game the Angels lose, the Ohtani trade becomes more and more likely. And speaking of that, the Ohtani is listed. The Angels did say that Ohtani could be traded. But for a conversation to start, multiple top 100 type prospects would have to be packaged into that deal. It makes sense. Obviously, he's one of the best. His value's at an all-time high. The Angels can get a pretty package for him. If Ohtani ends up on the Yankees, expect Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez to be traded. The Dodgers, Bobby Miller has been really good. Expect him to go. Like, the Angels are going to ask heavy for Ohtani, and it's basically which team is going to say yes first. And I think the Yankees, as much as they want Ohtani, are they willing to part with, Jason Dominguez has been this kid in the farm system for a long time. They very much are high on him. Even a guy like Anthony Volpe, a shortstop that was supposed to be their future, trading both those parts for Ohtani, as a rental also, like he could not sign with them. It would be a lot. So we'll have to see what the Yankees do there. But that's going to do it and wrap it up for our first ever trade talk here. And now a look at our outstanding performances for the weekend, starting with Corbin Burnes, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 13 Ks against the Reds there. Charlie Morton, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. Julio Urias, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks. The All-Star Michael Lorenzen, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 5 walks, but 7 Ks. Probably his best game of the season, and it came after being an All-Star. Kyle Bradish with Baltimore, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. Freddie Peralta, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Cutter Crawford with Boston, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 4 walks, 9 Ks. Garrett Cole, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 11 Ks. Tyler Glasnow, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks. And lastly, Max Scherzer, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Now we've got a standings check here. Despite doing one on Friday, we'll do a quick one here and look over things really quickly. The Rays, they lost 1 game against the Royals. Baltimore, on an 8-game winning streak, are now only 1 game back of the Rays. Baltimore has 35 losses. The Rays have 36. But the Rays have 60 wins to Baltimore's 57. But being 1 game back on an 8-game winning streak, the Rays are 3-7 in their last 10, while Baltimore, the Blue Jays, and Boston are all 8-2 in their last 10. Blue Jays have moved up to 3rd on a 4-game winning streak, while the Yankees are now tied with Boston for last, both being 50 and 44. Both teams above 6 games above 500. Meanwhile, in the AL Central, the Twins are only 2 games above 500. But let's talk about the bright side. They're over 500. Hooray! They're on a 3-game winning streak and are now first place in the division after the Guardians have lost 4 straight. Tigers, White Sox, and Royals all follow them in that order. In the AL West, the Angels, 2-8 in their last 10, are now in 4th place in the division as Seattle has moved above them by a game. The Rangers, they sweep the Guardians. They remain 3 games above the Astros, who are 52 and 42nd in 2nd place there. Oakland in last at 25 and 70. Yes, they already have 70 wins. Moving on to the NL East, the Braves with the biggest gap between 1st and 2nd for division. The Braves in 1st and are 9.5 games back over Miami. The other 5 divisions are a game back, a game and a half back, 2 games back, 2.5 games back, and 3 games back. And then you have the Braves with a 9.5 game lead over Miami for 2nd. Very impressive stuff there. Philly are inching closer to Miami. They're 7-3 in their last 10 and on a 3-game winning streak as they get closer and closer to 2nd place, only a game back now of the Finns there. The NL Central, the Brewers have just won 4 straight. The Reds have just lost 4 straight. The Brewers are now first place in the division, 2 games above the Reds. Cubs, Pirates, and Cardinals follow there. The Cardinals are only 1 game back over the Pirates, so they could finally be out of 5th place in the division for the first time pretty much all year. That would be great for the Cardinals. And lastly here, the NL West. Dodgers are now in first place after the Diamondbacks have dropped, losing 4 straight. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They are now in third. The Giants are in second, a game and a half back of the Dodgers after a 5-game winning streak. And then the Padres and Rockies follow them there. That is our standings check. Lastly, now we have to go over our upcoming series, and we start with a fun one. Dodgers at Baltimore, the Oilers there. That's a circle series. That's a very fun one. Padres at Blue Jays. You can also circle that one. The Padres need to win some games here, but the Blue Jays, they need to get hot too. Tigers at Royals. Twins at Mariners. Red Sox at A's. Yankees at Angels. Good chance for the Yankees to talk to Ohtani. The Rays at Rangers. Circle that series. First in the AL East versus first in the AL West. That's a must-watch matchup. White Sox at Mets. Diamondbacks at Braves. Circle that matchup. We talked about that earlier. The Diamondbacks need to get going. They've been slumping. Brewers at Phillies. That's a fun one too. Nationals at Cubs. Marlins at Cardinals. Guardians at Pirates, Giants at Reds. Circle that one. That's a very fun matchup between two teams in second in the division. And lastly, we have the Astros and the Rockies there. That will do it for us today. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. If you're new here, you liked the episode here, feel free to subscribe, like the video, comment. Helps me out a ton. It means a lot to me as well. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys Friday.